Today I want to discuss about electrostatics. In electrostatics we will study about the charge in static nature, in static condition. That is, the charge is not movable and it is fixed to a place. Now at first we will discuss about point charge. What is point charge? When the dimension of a body is very small as compared to the distance at which we want to measure some electric field, electric potential, or etc., then the charge body is called a point charge. Now what is electric field and what is electric potential we will discuss later. Today I want to discuss about the nature of the point charge. There are two possibilities of point charge. At first, charge. It is either positive or negative. Now we know from our previous knowledge that positive means repulsion, positive negative means attraction, and negative positive means attraction, but negative means repulsion. That is, repulsion will be act between them. Now what is the kind of force? The concept about the force between 2 point charge was given by the scientist Coulomb. In his law, that is, from Coulomb's law, we will get that the force acting between 2 point charge is proportional to their magnitude, product of their magnitude, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance of separation between them. That is A proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. To remove this proportional sign we have to introduce a constant term there. So F is Q1 Q2 K into Q1 Q2 by R square. In CGS this K is 1 and in SI this K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is the electric permittivity of the medium. Now it has a unit Coulomb square per Newton per meter square and has its value in free space. In free space epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton per meter square, and this value, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, is simply equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter per Coulomb square. Now this is quite simpler, but in another medium except free space, this epsilon naught, here we introduce relative permittivity, 4 pi epsilon naught into epsilon r, simply epsilon. This is equal to simply epsilon. In case of the medium is not free space, then this will happen. Now this Coulomb's force is valid only when the distance of separation between the charges is very large as compared to the dimension of the charges, so that it exists in between 2 point charges. It is not existable in very small distance of separation, that is in Fermi order of distance, that is 10 to the power minus of 15. This is not possible. Coulomb's law will not exist there. And the important point is the Coulomb's law is not valid when the charge is movable. That is, it is only valid when the charge is fixed, that is static in nature. So this was given by the Coulomb's law. Now we will discuss about the direction of the Coulomb's law. Since force is a vector quantity, if this becomes a point, this becomes a distance of r1 of a point, and this is r2 position vector of B point, then this will be simply r1 minus r2. Now the force acting on B will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught if the charges be q1 and q2, then q1 q2 by, if the distance simply r, then r squared r cap. That is, if we elaborately discuss, then 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by modulus of r2 minus r1, sorry, this is r1, this is r2 square into r1 minus r2 vector. Okay, this is the direction. Now this will equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r1 minus r2 whole cube into r1 minus r2 vector. This is what we get from Coulomb's law. Now the force follows the superposition principle. That is, if there is a system q1 q2 q3 q4 q5, then the force on q5 due to all the point charges will follow the vector addition of the force due to all the point charges acting on q5. The force follows the superposition principle. Since it is a linear equation, okay, so it follows superposition principle. Then in compact form we can write this by force on q5 is F5 is equal summation over J is equal 1 to n for a number of point charges, whereas J not equal to 5 F5J. This is the superposition principle. Now we are interested to discuss about electric field. What is electric field? Around any charge, it may be positive or negative, there exists some field around the point charge where its influence can be felt. That is, when a charge is kept, when a unit positive or negative charge is kept inside the field, then it will acted upon by a force due to these point charges which is already present. So we can say that the previous point charge describes some electric field around it, due to which when we place a unit positive or negative charge, it is acted upon by a force. If the two charges are same in nature, then it will be repulsed, or if the two charges are opposite in nature, then it will be attracted to each other. So this is the field. This is known as the electric field. Now mathematically we can write that E is equal F by Q, since the force acting on unit positive charge, that is the electric field may be defined as the force acting on unit positive charge. That is, from this formula we can get the dimension of E, ml t to the power minus 2 divided by some it, which gives ml t to the power minus 3 I to the power minus 1. I to the power minus 1. This is the dimension of the electric field. Now for 2 point charges kept are at a distance r from each other, q1, so q, if we consider this charge be q and this charge is q, then the force acting between them, F vector is some q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into r unit vector in the direction of r. Now from the previous formula we can get E is equal the force acting, the field due to this point charge, then it will become F by Q. This will become Q by 4 pi r square epsilon naught into r cap. This is the electric field. Now we can show that the electric field also obeys the principle of superposition. Again I want to back to the Coulomb's law. Now from this we can get that if this is the force due to force acting on q1 due to q2, this is the force acting on q1 due to q2, that is F to 1. Now this is F to 1. Now if we follow the vector law, then we will get that F12 will be simply negative of this quantity. So we can conclude that Coulomb's law follows the Newton's third law. Coulomb's law follows the Newton's